where I can tell, like, I can tell you're pushing. I read your all your comments. I read everything you post. I watch your videos, and I can see, like, man, like, you're really. It's probably always harder for you in the industry you're in. You get a lot of pushback. I don't get pushback, and it might be because I get little because this industry is small. I mean, within a 5 mile radius, there might be five.
Licensure, and I think my industry is more regimented.
It is because you have certifications. Whereas here, I mean, they're loose, man. They're not really coaching certification. It's called a safety certification, but people think it's a coaching certification. There's no coaching thing. I mean, you can go take them, but there's very few of those. Most people in my industry were simply athletes. Okay, so you were an athlete,
Yeah.
and guess what? If you have the money, you can go open a business tomorrow. Done, and you can start teaching all this stuff and set up a routine, and you can it's that easy. And so, because of that, there's very little pushback because each club can do it whatever they want, and so can I. But because here's the difference: I'm a non-competitive facility. Okay, I set it up like it on purpose. Most gyms, I would say all of them, have competitive platforms. I do not. I did it on purpose. Okay, so I created a facility where I would teach everybody. So if you had an issue, if you were a gymnast or a dancer and you wanted to learn how to tumble, here's the place. I did it on purpose so I could gather the confidence of the entire community.
Yeah.
So they could come here and train without feeling out of place. Like, we're at that place. No, this is a neutral ground. This is, what is it in Highlander? This is whatever I forget Highlander, but this is like, sacred ground. Like, you're safe here. And what it did was, it immediately became my biggest growth because I'm lucky to say this, every single gymnastics facility in the city and outskirts, cheer and dance, I have every single business coming to me, learning these skills. They can take those skills, go back and compete. And I'm the beneficiary of all that. And I get all the, referrals. Oh, from, if there's the Francis or all these Revolution, I teach everybody. And so I think it's lessened the kickback that you might feel because of the pushback or the back talk, because I teach everybody's kids anyway. I'm supporting these other people's businesses, making them winners. And so people look at me as like, oh, that guy, he's not competing against us. He's helping us. So I only get kickback usually on technical stuff, but in terms of like a change in the business, I'm helping people's businesses. So I may not get as many of the flags you get, respectfully.
There's a big divide, and it's coming into more contrast as the business grows. We've struggled with this because I'm still teaching techniques on a table because the majority of my industry is table based. I understand that. I accept that. I'm more comfortable being on a table, working on a table, teaching on a table. I continue to do it again and again and again and again. The transition is facilities don't allow mat work. They're like, once you get to the mat, they're like, they know, I think internally, this changes things in ways we're uncomfortable with. Not because it's ineffective, it's just new. Like, we don't even have the architecture for this. Like, we don't have mats. Now we got to take down a table, and where do we put the table? It's like, right. There's almost not a geographic, but there's an architecture issue. So I teach on a table, and I teach effective techniques, and I'll give you a quick example. There was a facility here in town. They called me, hired me, and I was like, okay, I got intro tie, I got table tie, and they're like, nope. In other words, they want to change my curriculum to fit what they want. And I go, okay, what do you want? And they're like, table base, 6 hours. I'm like, all right, how much? Okay, cool. I'll come in, I'll teach. I come in, I'm setting up tripods, setting up cameras, and they're like, wait, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I film all my classes. And they're like, wait, but no. And I'm like, no, that's cool. And I just keep setting it up.
Yeah,
because in massage, everybody's naked. I haven't had a client take off clothes probably in over 8 years. They're like, dude, this shit is crazy. So I get the camera set up. I start teaching. All the students are just freaking out. They're like, dude, this shit is amazing. Oh my God, this is revolutionary. Right. Afterwards, the guy pulled me aside. This is weeks later, and he's like, we have a problem. The boss doesn't like it. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Now, I put out a lot of video to warn you who you're getting involved with. Okay? I don't go to a Rage Against the Machine concert and expect Enya.
Right.
I don't go see Tool and expect James Taylor.
Right.
Okay, I put out video as much for education as a warning. Like, this guy don't.
Right.
You know? So I said, is the work amazingly effective for the clients? Absolutely. Is it easier on your body? Absolutely. Has your rebook rate gone up? Are you making more money for the company and the owner? He's like, absolutely. And I'm like, listen, the problem is your boss wants something that's ineffective. He can hire somebody else to teach that.